A lot of your egos are gonna get hurt right now, no joke. Because I have a very, very long list of bad habits that a lot of B-boys and B-girls still have to this day. So stay tuned. What's up guys, this is your boy Coach Sambo. Welcome to Nanjing, China, where I spend most of my days training and coaching the Chinese breaking Olympic team. All right, so bad habits, we all have them. I have them, you have them. Every single person in this breaking game has them. And I've been breaking and coaching long enough to basically have seen it all. I'm sorry that I have to laugh. When I look at this list, there are a lot of funny things involved. Because I'm sure you're gonna identify with a lot of things that I'm gonna talk about right here in this video. All right, so before we go through this list, I have to say that these tips are for those who really wanna level up and win battles, of course. I have no business with your personal goals, and of course, I respect all. So take whatever you can for this list. All right, so starting off with number one, B-boy tradition, which is arriving late at practice, and in some cases, leaving very early as well. Might wanna add the leaving the training late. For example, when your training spot finishes at 10, and you're still there at 10:15, stretching, I mean, that's not a respectful thing to do, so I might as well just add it right there. So that's number one, level up your freaking game. Next one is pretty funny, it's bad hygiene. Man, you B-boys out there, man, those exotic smells in training or battle, man, like use deodorant, bring fresh socks, wash knee pads. Like, come on guys, let's try and level up that game because, you know, you're giving us B-boys a bad reputation, man. Next up is very common, especially with young B-boys and B-girls, is no warm-up or a very shitty warm-up. Same thing with something I see a lot, especially when I'm traveling, is no stretching whatsoever at the end of practice. People just throw mad power and then all of a sudden, oh, training's finished, boom, grab your backpack, leave. I mean, okay, if you're a 12-year-old Russian kid, do whatever you want. Come on, guys, level up your freaking game. Make a habit of stopping your training on time so you can get some decent stretching in there. What happens if you stretch at the end of practice?
Oh, you're not gonna feel sore the next day.
Oh, we don't want that. And also,
I maintain my flexibility
so I can execute more forms and shapes. I mean, that's what you want, right? More variety in your moves to learn how to stretch at the end of practice. Next is no core strengthening, which is basically, in my book, injury prevention. Also, you get to develop more strength, more explosiveness, but most of all, do it because you want to prevent injury. A lot of people just don't warm up, they don't stretch, they don't do any type of core exercises, then they wonder where they're always injured because of those bad freaking habits. And I know most of you guys are watching this like, oh shit, Coach Sambo really hitting the nail with the hammer right here. Yeah, I know you guys. Next is when injured, a lot of people avoid practice, especially parents sending me messages like, oh, little Timmy hurtled his little pinky winky, so he can't come to practice today. But actually, the only reason why you shouldn't go to practice if you're injured is because you have some kind of spinal injury, which totally paralyzes you, or any type of other injury. Because at the end of the day, whatever injury you might have, you can still practice and be creative. If you have a wrist injury, you can work on your top rock. If you have an ankle injury, you can still work on your handstands and your power moves, or your freeze combos. Well, you get the idea, right? Don't let an injury become an excuse for you to skip practice, because those injuries are a blessing in disguise without you knowing. Next common mistake is no consistent training routine. Best thing for you to do is to have like 2 or 3 days in a week where you always practice, because that's just going to deliver the best results. If one week you practice on a Monday, and then maybe on the Thursday, and then the next week after that you're going to skip Monday, and then maybe train on Wednesday, depending on
your girlfriend's schedule.
Man, when I hear that, I just want to digitally just enter the room, just slap you around, be like,
man, give me 5 push-up.
Consistent training routine gets the priority over everything if you're a real B-boy or B-girl. Next is people that talk a lot during practice sessions. A practice session is a practice session. It's not a freaking coffee break. And I know we have a community and it's fun to see some people, but try and make a habit of having those fun conversations after practice. I hate it when people come and talk to me, talk about last week's battle or whatever. I'm like, man, who cares, man? I just want to freaking practice. Because you want to envision that next battle you're going to. Basically, your opponents are training while you're there having a little coffee break with your friends. Stop that. And if somebody does come to talk to you during your practice session,
hey man, I'd love to talk about this, but I only got an hour and a half left to practice. So let's catch up after training. Go grab some Taco Bell together and we can talk as much as you want, all right?
Back to practice. Next is wasting your energy looking and judging other people.
Look at that dude. You think he's got so much style? If I'd battle him, I'd smoke him straight away. Call that a halo? He's so whack, he doesn't even know. I'd smoke that dude in a heartbeat. Yeah,
And that could also translate to you being a crappy b-boy and then spamming comment sections on Instagram or on YouTube talking shit about people that are actually out there putting in the work. I mean, okay, as a b-boy, you have to feed your own ego and you have to give yourself some value. But watch out how you use your energy. Hype yourself up, give yourself value, but don't waste your energy just thinking too much about other people. They're gonna be the best at being them and you're gonna be the best at being you. So better start investing time in that. Is your ego hurt yet? Don't worry, the list isn't over yet. Next very common thing is holding back in your training sessions, not going full out, not doing those big moves. And meanwhile, you're thinking, hey, when I go to battle and I really wanna bring out those moves,
I got it, no problem.
very common thing I see people do. And you might be right. If you really want to bust out those moves, when the time comes, you probably can. But executing them full out, it's going to help you improve the sharpness of the move. It's going to help you improve the control over that move, the timing for the music, and most important of all, your confidence. Because you might bust out that move, but somewhere in the back of your head, you're going to know, ooh, I didn't do this move in a long time. Really hope it works. If that's your mindset for battle, let me tell you, you're not ready for the international breaking scene yet. Next common mistake is no organization of arsenal whatsoever and not keeping track or keeping notes on new moves, new combos that you're busting out in practice. And I am very guilty of that one. Many, many years I have done this and I've lost so many potential moves or combos that I could have used in battle. Great stuff, but I just can't remember what it was. And it's even worse than that for most people. Trust me, I coach a lot of people, so I know what I'm talking about. Is people have no organization whatsoever when it comes to their full arsenal. They don't keep track of anything. Imagine you going to a big international one-on-one competition where you need 16 rounds to win. For example, those Olympic qualifiers. How the hell are you gonna make it past the round robin if you don't keep track of all your stuff? Because it's impossible to remember 1,672 moves or combos without kind of writing them down first, or developing or creating a system where you have a total overview of everything. You know I'm right. Coach Sambo don't around. And not keeping track of your stuff is basically like a domino effect. Because that brings me to the next point right here. People just don't prep well for competition. There's no organization of the arsenal. There's no clear overview. How the hell are you going to distribute everything spread throughout 16 different rounds? And if you're not well prepared for battle, then you're not going to be confident for battle. It's not going to be fun. And it's just like a whole domino effect of issues and problems, while breaking should be fun.
Right.
Now, if you want to learn how to organize and prepare for battle correctly, and don't hesitate to check out the Prep for Battle Masterclass that I developed specifically for these issues. Info in the description down below. Next bad habit is investing their time at practice while only focusing on their strengths or things they like to do, totally avoiding the elements they're missing for decent results in competition. Then we have a lot of people that avoid proper basics. And I see this all the time with air flare. So many people sending me videos of them just throwing an air flare, but you can very clearly see they don't master hand hops on both sides, or they don't master pikes on both sides. Everything within breaking builds from certain basics. If you skip those basics and you want to go straight to level 1000, it might look or feel like you're going fast, but actually you're slowing down your whole process. And talking about avoiding proper basics, so many people avoid doing freezes on both sides. While personally, you should be able to execute all your freezes equally well mastered on both sides. Same for footwork. Master all of your footwork in both directions, guys. And when displaying that in competition, experienced judges will notice. Next very common thing is, or let's call them breakdancers, avoiding proper breaking knowledge and overall just proper hip-hop knowledge. Do your research. It's a culture. There's a lot of history involved, a lot of names, a lot of stories where all these moves come from. I mean, it wouldn't hurt to watch a little less and watch a little bit more documentaries on hip-hop, like, for example, Ken Swift, or Crazy Legs, or Storm. Man, B-Boy Storm is such an amazing source of information. Yo, don't skip, time is limited.
Life depleting.
If there's any bad habits that I didn't think of, please leave them in the comments down below so we can contribute to one another. Because at the end of the day, when you think about it, it's just all about that B-Boy shit. Peace.